Moray Robert B. Holman Jr. and
Moray Sean Appleton.
And this is
Hebrews in Exile.
Here we is, one more again.
One more again, just to tell you, like it T.I. is. Yes, sir. You know, it's interesting every time we sit down because we have a third entity that's here that most people can't see, which is the Most High.
Yeah.
And we try to, as much as we can, let the Most High lead.
Yeah.
Off mic, we were talking about.
You were talking.
I was talking. I was talking to King Charles. He's sitting back there in the corner. Not in the corner, but he's sitting right there in the front. And he had made mention something about, you know, I just got done with this teaching about Sada'at, and I was getting ready to say, so let's pick up where we left off. I was getting ready to tell you that I was thinking about you on, we had your birthday thing on Sunday, and it was, I think it was MLK Day was on Monday.
Yes.
And it was on Monday. And I was sitting there thinking about what you had said. And I was thinking about you too. I'm gonna tell you why. You said something I'll never forget. You said, and it's interesting because the business that you in has to deal with this. You said, you are what? What are you? You are spirit living in a body, in a house, right? The Most High breathed pneuma breath into you, his spirit into you. And I had to stop there and I thought about you. Because oftentimes you get up in front of people and you have this way of delivering worship that people don't understand. They're like, oh, he's just up there preaching. That's not, you're pontificating out of the depths of your spirit about the Most High. And sometimes it's difficult for people to understand. And the reason why I thought about you is because I sat there and I had to ponder to myself. I said, the Most High is a power.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So let me ask you this question. This may be going in a weird direction, but this is what I was thinking. Let me ask you a question. If you were the Most High, what would you do? Roll the clock all the way back.
About what?
The Most High, okay, let's define what the Most High is. The Most High is a power.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Can you put yourself in the mind of the Most High?
No. No.
See,
see, the reason why you asked me that question, the reason I say I know, is because the Most High, the Mighty One, is all wisdom.
Yeah.
All wise.
Right.
And all wisdom.
Right.
So the Most High knows when to act and when not to act. And the Most High has patience and long suffering. I don't have that.
You don't have that?
Nope.
No, you short on in that department.
I kill him.
This is what I had pondered, and I'm coming back to you in a second. I said, if I had the mind of the Most High, what would I do? So I have to understand what the Most High is. The Most High is infinite wisdom.
Yes.
Infinite power.
Yes.
Infinite understanding.
Yes.
Can the Most High be bound?
No.
So if I was the Most High and I span time.
Yeah.
I span everything.
Yes.
I'm a power.
Yes.
What can't I do? Is there anything that the Most High can't do?
No. Absolutely nothing.
Okay. And then, so I thought about that. I was on the same page as you. And then I thought about you again. And I said, if I was the Most High, I wonder what would intrigue me? I'm boundless. So I'm going to make something that has boundaries. See, if I thought, again, coming back to you, you said you are what? A spirit living in a body. And I said, I thought about it for a second. I said, on the sixth day, the Most High made a human being. I'm the Most High. I'm boundless. I breathe my breath of life into a unit that I've made that can handle my spirit, that has a boundary. It can only do so much. And I thought about that for a second. I said, man, at the end of the day, I'm thinking about my moray because he's sitting there telling us how magnificent of a creation we are. In the sense that if you think about what the Most High is, and this is the only unit that the Most High has made that can handle his spirit. No other entity can handle his spirit except a human being.
Okay.
Tell me what can handle. See, this is what I'm saying. After the sixth day, the Most High looked at his creation and said, that's good. Why? Because it can handle me. It breathes because I'm in it. It has life because I'm in it.
You know what?
But I can't be bound.
That'll preach. That'll preach on Sunday morning.
That'll preach on Sunday
That'll
morning.
preach on Sunday morning.
Right. I'm limitless. But when I'm in this form, I'm bound to something. There's only so much I can do. So I said to myself, how magnificent is the creation of the Most High? And the Most High, and it's funny you said what you said when you came in here, because you asked me about Sada'at. You said, well, what's the purpose of it? And I said, when we look at these string of mitzvot that we're talking about here in the book of Vayikra, we're talking about mitzvot that what affect the body. They affect emissions that we might have, things that might break out on the body, things that, hair that might be falling out on the body, things that we come across, things that we put into the body to make it work properly. Because the Most High put something in it that said, while you're in that, and what are you? You're a collection of experiential knowledge from the time that you're in your mother's womb to where you're at now. That's what makes you unique. No one has the experiences that you have, except for you, which are personified in this, your cognitive ability to interact with the world around you. But at its base core, Pneuma spirit that's in you is from the Most High. When we return back to the earth, we stay in a state of stasis, of sleep until so on and so forth. So I said, man, I have a greater appreciation when I actually, and this is the thing, when you start reading text over here and you talk about the magnificent ability of the Most High and who the Most High is, I don't think I truly understood how magnificent of a creature or how magnificent of a construction of this construct called a body is until I had to fathom what this thing is in order to hold the spirit of the Most High. Something that can't be bound, with limitless power, limitless wisdom. But he made your house so he could reside in it. How magnificent is this?
That's, well, he says you are wonderfully
made.
And magnificently made. However, what you have just said puts a greater emphasis on that text, because we never stop to think about what you just said. And not thinking about what you just said, the limitless, the boundlessness that the Most High has, and taking his spirit, putting it into a unit that can handle it, and then giving that human unit the wherewithal to be able to maintain that, and understanding that religion has no concept of that.
Right. 100%.
You know, when you read in the Psalms, and he tells us that, you know, I treasure your word in my heart. I treasure your word in my heart so that I might not sin against you. It's like putting fuel in the engine so that it doesn't run out.
Right. 100%. 100%.
But now we have to ask ourselves a question that is never asked amongst religion. What is that word? Thy word have I treasured in my heart, that I might not sin against you. The question has to arise, what is that word? Now, what I'm saying goes along with what I posted last week on Facebook. You Christians post a lot of stuff, but you don't read the fine print.
The fine print.
What you just said right now is fine print. The understanding of Scripture, the understanding of the omnipotent, the magnitude of the Most High, the magnitude of the Mighty One, the magnitude of what He's created, and how He's created that for a specific purpose. To repeat what you said, to make a house that can hold His magnitude,
Right.
in boundaries,
Right. And
of which He is not bound.
right. And you don't come see, it's different. It's a different gravitas for us because we understand who the Most High is from a Hebraic standpoint.
Exactly.
When we go across it's a peripheral thing over there. Over there. You don't understand the magnitude. Where is it in Yeshayahu chapter number 44 in there? It says, I'm thinking about these things like where were you when I made all of this stuff? When I'm creating all of these things, it has a magnitude that's there now that says, okay, now I can understand who the Most High, well, I don't think we'll ever totally understand at the end of the day, but the respect.
Well, yeah, I mean, being, and that's a question that has to be answered or has to be talked about, which is so different in religion. And that is understanding the magnitude of the Mighty One.
Yeah.
He's not God.
Right.
The Mighty One is not Lord. The Mighty One is mighty.
Right.
Awesome. Unhinged.
Right.
And the degree of understanding His voice, His voice is spoken through His word. His word is His voice.
Right.
When you read Scripture and you meditate on Scripture, that Scripture is like seasoning to food. It melds into the food. It attaches itself to the food. You don't see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you can taste it.
That's a good analogy.
Oh, taste and see that the Mighty One is good.
Yeah.
So when we are dealing with Scripture now from a non-toxic view, from its organicness, things look different his voice sounds different. It's not convoluted with the ideas and the philosophies and the minutia of man who's trying to use the Most High
Right.
for his convenience.
Yeah, his own benefit. Yeah.
That's not where we are.
Correct.
That's not where we are. We're being Hebraic. We're not trying to make you feel good. We're trying to educate you so that you can be righteous.
Yeah.
So that when all is said and done, that seasoning that has become a part of you, which is his word, manifests itself in a way that it connects to him.
Yeah.
Now we come back to your opening statement. The Most High is boundless. The Most High is limitless. There are no boundaries you can place on him. But likewise, when Hebrew Israel is walking in right standing with the Most High, there's no boundaries you can put on her.
No, there's not. There's not. Well,
Hebrew Israel becomes the essence, the expression of who the Most High is, because he is them and they are him.
right. It's a group of individuals set apart that this is what rang out when you said that. When we call, the Most High answers. Where anywhere else is there a declaration
No.
that says,
If you keep my laws, you keep my commandments, you will be seen as a wise people who have a power, the sole power, as close to them when they call.
yeah. See, even in that, I'm realizing the depth, like you had mentioned. Hebrew Israel is boundless at that particular point. What's the greatest superpower on the face of the world right now? Would one could say, and I'm not trying to brag, but one could say that let's just say this: the United States is a very big influence in the world.
Yes.
Now, imagine that. This is the thought that just came to my mind. Imagine that, and then if, like a nation like the United States, and then we had the ear of the Most High. If you were one of the nations outside of the United States, I don't think that you would be haughty, or at least you would have a reverence and respect for that group.
Well, let's back that up. Let's back that phrase up a little bit.
Okay.
There is still no nation on the face of the earth that is as powerful as Hebrew Israel.
True.
None.
True.
There's none that can compare to, even in her idolatrous state, there is no nation that can compare to her. And the reason why there's no nation that can compare to Hebrew Israel is because the Most High has made a declaration that says, my eyes are always upon you, and you are the apple of my eye.
Right. 100%.
And I can spin this. I can spin this so that you can return back to me and be what I determine you to be. I mean, that's Ezekiel talking. For then the nations will know that when you, Hebrew Israel, have turned back to me and you're living in your lands in peace and quiet, they will recognize that I, Yahweh, did this. I took a people that were hard-headed, stiff-necked, and rebellious,
Yeah.
and caused them to be the sole power of the world once again. There is no nation that has risen to power
Yeah. I was getting ready. Yeah.
and been demised that
And
has
then
returned to
back.
power.
I'm trying to think. Has there ever been? Has Rome done it?
Nope.
Has Egypt done it?
Nope.
I'm trying to think of any
Nope.
African nation that has
Nope.
done it.
Nope. There's no
I don't know,
nation,
yeah.
There's no nation that has fallen. There's no nation that has risen to the zenith of the height of rulership that has fallen. And every great nation has fallen. And every great nation that has fallen will not rise again except Hebrew Israel.
Right. And even in its state right now of the United States, Hebrew Israel, it's built on our laws.
It's built on our laws.
And so even in its being disbanded and being this pan-Hebrewism across the world, its influence is still felt.
It's felt, right.
Throughout time.
Even though you don't recognize it, and even though they want to put it down, the footprint of Hebrew Israel is upon practically every nation.
Every nation. That's why
you say, well, the Greeks have influenced the world. They've influenced the world with their philosophy. They've influenced the world with their what?
I mean, they have their mathematics, some of the things that they've come up with, yeah.
But there's no nation that has influenced the world like Hebrew Israel has.
100%.
I mean, and now you say, well, how is that? Well, I've talked about it before. Everything that is a part of the lifestyle of humanity and the maintenance of humanity has come out of the mind of the melanated man. Everything. Your ability to survive tragedy comes out of the ingenious aspect of what the Most High has put into the man that he created first. And that's because now we get back to this idea of this boundless ability. This boundless ability the Most High has given to the man that he created, which is part of his DNA, to be creative.
Correct.
As our Father was created, as the Most High, the Mighty One, was created, he created a man in his image, in his likeness, put his DNA in him, so that that man that he's created can also function like he functions in the universe of continuing this ambience of creativity.
Right. 100%. I have a question for you. Can I take you off? Can I do a side quest real quick? This may not go nowhere, but I got a side quest for you. If in fact what we're saying is that the Most High breathed the breath of life into man, then what need would he have had to come in and part himself into one? If it's already there.
You see, here's the problem. Here's the problem with the question.
Okay.
The problem with the question gets back to the fine print. The Most High has already created the beings to carry his spirit and to speak his words.
Right.
before there was a human being claiming to be him, he had prophets that he
Hey.
brought into existence to speak his words as he directed them to speak it, obeying his teachings and his laws,
Okay.
walking in them, and willing to offer their lives for the sake of truth. So he did not need to come up 400 years later to have, I'm going to say it.
Come on, you already.
Y'all don't want to listen to the podcast? That's all right. He didn't have to come up 400 years later to have some jackass talking about he's God manifested in the flesh.
Just saying. Because it sets a precedent on, and I'm glad that you brought that out because I didn't even thought of that. It sets a precedent on how the Most High works to say, I have vessels that speak on my behalf.
Vessels that I direct to speak on my behalf. Not vessels that, you woke up one day, I'm a prophet. The heck you are. Well, no. I take that back.
Okay.
I take that back. You can be a prophet for that which is idolatrous.
Sure. I agree with that.
Idolatry has prophets.
100% they do.
But those that speak for the Most High walk in his ways and they walk in his teachings.
It's correct.
That gets me back to my Psalms text. Your word is in me. Now we have to ask ourselves a question. What word? Because, I hear a lot, I got to go study his word. I'm going to figure out what word are you studying. You come out with the same thing every week, every Sunday, you don't deviate from it. So what word are you studying? Because you're not reading, you haven't read the fine print. What's the fine print? Oh, his teachings.
Right.
His laws. His mitzvot.
Right. All the stuff you read over.
We talked about this last week.
Yeah.
The Most High's word is like a contract. Everybody does not read the fine print of a contract. Right. I don't care what it is. I don't care if you're buying a house, if you're buying a car, two major things you buy. You read through it, but you don't regurgitate what that contract has to say. If you're smart, you go, well, let me take this to my attorney. Because the attorney is the one who reads the fine print,
right,
and is responsible for giving you a synopsis of what the contract says that gives you the ability to be able to sign it or not sign it or amend it.
Right.
That's why you have an attorney to do that.
Correct.
The Most High's prophets are his attorney. That's his firm of attorneys. You and I act as legal, as what do they call them?
Legal counsel?
Legal assistants.
Paralegals or something like that?
Yeah, we're legal assistants. However, a lot of legal assistants can actually function as an attorney because they're giving it to the attorney. All he's doing is carrying out what he went to school to do.
Right.
He's got the license to go before the court to do it. But these legal students,
they're the ones digging through and finding
they're the ones going through finding all the points and handing it to him to go to court so he can speak.
Yeah. I found this in this particular, this versus, the precedent was set in this by this judge. You can use this, boom, 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 boom. You know where that comes up, what I thought about when you said that is also, which probably present day thing, is my brother is an insurance broker. That's for lack of eloquence. I know that's probably not what he calls himself. But that, to me, I thought about that. I said, it's not until I get into a wreck when I actually say, you know what, my insurance should cover this. And then my insurance agent says, you must not have read the fine print when it says it does not cover this, 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 or this. This is what your premium is based on. And so therefore, no, you are going to have to come out of pocket for X amount. And it's always like, oh man, I'm thinking insurance is a catch-all, and it's not. And that's almost, we making analogies tonight, we going deep sea diving tonight. To make an analogy to say, even if I go across the street and I look at that, it's like a policy that you have that because you didn't read the fine print, you thinking that policy is going to cover it all.
I mean, let's look at something here for a minute. People in religion want to talk about grace.
Okay.
The mighty one's grace. I mean, grace is a wonderful thing to talk about to raise the temperature of your emotional sequility, if that's it. But that's not what grace, what you're talking about, grace is not what grace is all about. Mm. Grace is written in the fine print. Mm-hmm. Grace says that in the midst of where you are, Hebrew Israel, you have abdicated my laws, my rules, and my teachings. You have gone and prostituted yourself before the gods of the nations. And I use the word gods because in this context, as opposed to him, because the word is idolatrous and the worship is idolatrous. So you have prostituted yourself amongst the idolatrous gods of the nations.
That's the Most High calling. Is it a 916 number he calling from?
No. And I can't answer it right now. And so I have dispersed you amongst the nations out of my land, and I have removed you from your temple. Jerusalem is in disarray and is a wilderness. Mm-hmm. You do not have a Kohanim. You do not have a physical living human king.
Okay.
You've been Hellenized, and yet and still I claim you as mine.
Right alone. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You have irritated me to the nth degree. And yes, I am angry with you. Mm. And yet in my anger, you live. Mm-hmm. I have not demised you. I have given you teachings and laws and rules to live by, and even in your diaspora, I expect you to return to me, and find me in the diaspora until I bring you back. But while you're in the diaspora, you will look for me, you will find me. When you find me, you'll return to my laws, my rules, and my mitzvot, and my teachings, and you will live by them. The fact that you are able to do that is my grace.
Which is diametrically opposed to your point about how it's explained across the street. Now,
That's
how is it
my
explained
grace.
across the street?
That's my grace. My grace says to you, I recognize that I have not abdicated not one of my rules, not one of my teachings, and they are all alive and in play. But in your diaspora, I know that you're not going to be able to keep them all. And because you're not able to keep them all, because I said if you break one, you've broken them all, but because I know that where you are, I extend life to you, I extend strength to you, I give you the opportunity to return to me where you are, and I spare your life. That is grace. That's what grace is all about. Grace and truth did not come with him. Grace is part of the mighty one who extends to his people, Hebrew Israel, in thy diaspora and in their stubbornness and in their obstinance. I'm going to do this to you. Some of you are not going to make it out, but I am still going to extend grace to you. And I'm going to show you my patience and my long suffering by not utterly and totally destroying you.
Now, listen. Y'all need to make that into a short. That was probably one of the best explanations of what grace is Hebraically that I've ever heard. That's a short. Hey, that'll preach in itself.
I mean, I told you I was going to disperse you, but I said I wasn't going to utterly destroy you. But I also said some of you were going to die. Now, let's understand death in the mind of the Most High.
Got to go somewhere. Where we going?
I'm looking for the word cut off.
Oh. What you want, a Webster's dictionary version of that?
No,
we going right into the text.
Scripture reference of it.
Oh, okay. Sure, that's all. Let's pick one.
Well, I'm going into one. I'm going to find one.
We're gonna find it. We're gonna race to it. You got it?
Yeah, let's go. We'll take one here in Exodus, chapter 12, verse 19.
Okay.
And this is dealing with Pesach.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Well,
because that's the one that came to my mind too. Is if you start violating these Moedims,
great
you
mind,
cut off.
Great minds think in the same place.
I gotta go find another one. Okay.
Oh, you. I've already Exodus 12 and what I say 19.
12, 19. Okay.
During the feast of Matzah, during those 7 days, no leaven is to be found in your house. Whoever eats food with Hamas in it is to be cut off from the community of Israel.
Okay.
Cut off.
Cut off.
Cut off.
No longer associated.
No longer associated.
Need not apply. Okay. Well, I got another one.
Okay.
Why don't we go to Vayikra or Leviticus, chapter number 10. Is that one?
Come on back to me.
Is it?
Rascal.
I was going to say 10.
Leviticus 10?
I was going to say 10. Is it in 10? Did we start there?
725.
725, okay.
Whoever eats the fat of an animal of the kind used in presenting an offering made by fire to Yahweh will be cut off from the community. Whoever eats any blood will be cut off. You're no longer a part of the community. It's like a divorce.
In the wrong spot.
Divorce is like death. So the Most High is very, very direct. He is very, very specific.
Oh yeah. Detailed.
Let's go somewhere else. Let's go to Exodus. I like this one because it's always there.
Exodus,
31, 31, and let's go to 15.
31 and 15. 31 and 15. Okay. On 6 days. Oh, wait a minute.
Let's go. Let's just deal with. Let's read it down. We've read it before.
Sorry, 12. You want to go up there?
Go to 12. Yeah.
All right.
Excuse me. Yahweh said to Moshe, "Tell the people of Israel you are to observe my Shabbats. For this is a sign between me and you through all your generations, that you will know that I am Yahweh, who set you apart for me. Therefore keep my Shabbat, because it is set apart for you. Everyone who treats it as ordinary must be put to death."
So we're not playing.
No.
Okay. Interesting.
So and you need to understand something about death and the Most High. The Most High says, I take no pleasure in the wicked, nor, if you read text, he has nothing at all that's good that has to do with death.
Right. Now,
If you touch death, you're unclean.
correct.
You don't find the Most High saying anything good about death. There's the only teaching about death that he says, if you touch it, you're unclean.
Correct. 100%. Read that part again, because I need to go somewhere. At 12.
You want me to read up?
Go back to 12, because I'm gonna set this up.
Yahweh said to Moshe, "Tell the people of Israel you are to observe my Shabbats, for this is a sign between me and you through all your generations, so that you will know that I am Yahweh, who set you apart from me. Therefore you are to keep my Shabbat, because it is set apart to you. Everyone who treats it as ordinary must be put to death."
Stop. When we were across the street, we believed in the 10 commandments. The 4th commandment that's in Shemot, or Exodus chapter number 20, says thus: remember the day Shabbat. It is set apart to Yahweh. You have 6 days to labor to do all your work. On the 7th day is the Shabbat for Yahweh your El. You just read the fine print on what that was all about.
Yes.
If there is a violation where you do not follow this, that's the fine print.
That's the fine print. Now, with that being said, let's get back to this idea of grace.
Right. It's going to be about grace tonight.
Let's get back to this idea of grace.
Okay.
Anyone who doesn't keep the Shabbat and treats it as ordinary must be put to death. The people of Israel are to keep the Shabbat, to observe Shabbat through all their generations as a perpetual covenant. So now, if Hebrew Israel is in diaspora, that does not negate her ability to keep Shabbat, because she does not need a temple.
Correct.
She doesn't need a Kohanim.
Correct.
She doesn't need a king for her to keep the Sabbath.
Absolutely.
Now, the Most High could, based on what text says, he can honor his word and put them to death.
By rights.
By rights.
Yep.
But his grace and his mercy and his long suffering and his patience with Hebrew Israel in exile preserves her for a purpose, because he has made a covenant with the fathers that he can't break.
That's correct. It's a better sheet 17, I believe.
If he don't bring but one of Hebrew Israel back to the land, he will have kept
fulfilled
his
it.
promise.
Yep. He said, you know what? I'll wipe all of them out and start them all over with you.
If he don't bring but one,
Moshe.
if he don't bring but one of Hebrew Israel back to the land in the end of days, he will have kept his word.
100%.
So the fact that we are able to move, live, breathe, have our existence, and have our being, worship in an idolatrous way, that, my friends, is grace.
You know what you...
That not only is grace, that is mercy.
Can I have your permission to use what you just said this Shabbat?
Oh, absolutely. Because many of our Hebrew family of the day, when they violated this, they died. They were cut off from Hebrew Israel. He did not extend them grace or mercy when he said, you do something that violates my law that has the death penalty, then by 2 or 3 witnesses you will be judged, and you will be judged righteously, you will be judged fairly, and you will be stoned to death. That's what grace is all about. We're in this time frame. Out of the land, no temple, no coining, and the majority of the Hebrew Israel don't even know the language.
True.
And the majority of them don't even know their Hebrew.
True.
They're ignorant of who they are. Not only are they ignorant of who they don't want to even be here. You know what? I thought about this.
Okay, come on.
Come on. About this. And I was challenged on something that I had said. I had said that the Most High's people were melanated people, were black people.
Okay.
However, so are the Hamites.
Sure they are.
So are the Egyptians. So are the Canaanites.
Sure.
So are the Perizzites.
Yep. 2/3.
So are the all the ites are melanated people. Perhaps all them folks that came out of Africa, all of them might not have been Hebrew.
Might not have.
Because they certainly act like they come from the lineage of Ham.
Sure. 100%.
And they don't want to even be associated with Hebrew Israel. They don't even want to be associated with Hebrew Israel's mighty one. Because they want to call him God, by which he says, you profane my name by your actions. Not only do you profane it by your actions, you profane it by the fact that you won't even speak it.
Right.
Even when you're told what it is, you refuse to speak my name. And the problem with that is, getting back to Devarim, that's my charge, to cling to him, honor his teachings, and proclaim his name. That's my job. That's what I'm supposed to do. And you won't even do that.
Facts.
Fact. So the fact that you won't do that, and the fact that I know who you are, I know who you are, you don't know who you are, but I know who you are, and I extend to you grace and mercy when I could utterly destroy you for treating me in a way that the other nations don't even treat their powers. I could, but I don't.
Yeah.
And I'm not, because I have a greater purpose and I have an agenda. My agenda is written and spoken by the prophet Ezekiel. That after I have gone through all the nations and explained to them the art that I have for them, and what I'm going to do with them in the end of days, and you, Hebrew Israel, you're equally guilty, but I'm not going to treat you that way because I made a covenant with your fathers that I would bring you back to the land. And I'm going to bring you back to the land, and according to Ezekiel, you're going to live in unwalled cities in peace, and the nations are going to see you there. And they're going to wonder at the fact, and they're going to hear the words of the prophet Jeremiah. Our fathers inherited lives. We were told that you had abandoned Hebrew Israel and that you were no longer in. But now we see them living in peace back in the land. They lied to us. And then the Most High says, and then the nations will know that I am the mighty one who can turn the hearts of a stubborn, rebellious people who I knew that's what they were when I chose them. But I'm saving the best for last. I'm going to prove to you all that I can take a nation that has abandoned me, a nation that I have with the nations. I can bring them back to me. They will be my people, and I will be their sole power.
Had we known that when we were across the street, things would have been different because there would have been no need. Because do you understand? I know you understand, but I'm saying this pejoratively. The gravity of what you just said resonates. Why? Because now there's no need for the Most High supposedly to come down and die for sins. Because I've given you grace. That grace allows you to be able to have time to come back and reconcile yourself with me. I don't have to come down and bend and break my own laws in order for you to come back. I've already given you the blueprint on how to do it. So what need would there be for me to change? Oh, this doesn't work. We're just going to throw this out and try something else new.
All right.
And that's when we posed the question before. It'd be very careful as someone that is across the street that if you're believing in an Elohim that changes his mind, because what makes you think he won't change his mind on you now?
Yeah.
Why are you so adamant about saying, if the Most High said, you know what, I had a set apart land, a set apart people, I had a set apart way of laws for them to govern themselves and a way for them to live their life in accordance with me, to be set apart as I am set apart, that didn't work. Let's try this new thing over here called Christianity. Or let's try this new thing over here this way. Maybe that doesn't work because obviously, as we can see, for anybody. So why don't the Most High just scrap that and do something else? I'd be very careful following after Elohim that changes his mind.
Yeah.
Because you might just be subject to it.
You know what? I think we've nailed this one. I want to do a shift here.
Okay.
I want to do a shift here. I want to ask a question. Why on this podcast, if you're listening to this podcast, are we talking about the mitzvot, the Most High's creation, and explaining when day and night is? I'm looking at the chat room, and for somebody to be in our chat room, they have to have subscribed to our channel, and there seems to be a clear discussion about light and dark and night and day and when the Most High, when a day begins and when a day ends. I'm trying to figure out why is that conversation being held while we're discussing something else. Help. Huh? That's the internet. That's the internet for me? Yeah. They were asking questions there. Oh, okay. Well, we can answer that question. You all doing a real good job back there.
We heard y'all just typing away.
Shout out to Sean for the information on when Shabbat starts and when day starts.
When the day starts.
Yeah, when Shabbat starts and when the day starts. Would you, Moray, would you take a sidebar here?
Take a
and,
sidebar.
Yeah. Would you explain to our chat room what Scripture talks about, how Scripture talks about day and night, and particularly when the Shabbat begins and when the Shabbat ends? Would you handle that?
Okay, so
I'm gonna answer this.
Go ahead.
No. This answer, this has gone on too long. You should be sitting over here, and I should be sitting over there.
What was said? Let me address that first. What was said? The question is what is y'all saying?
Well,
Maybe you would have answered it already. What did you say? Yeah, read it to me. Okay. What's difficult about that?
Okay, so no, I'll start up at top. The question was, when does the Shabbat start?
When does the Shabbat start?
And the answer I gave, somebody else answered. He came in, Yosef Israel, and said every day begins in the evening and ends the following sundown.
Where is that at in text?
Exactly. Boom. So now he was saying, well, if you read Genesis, it says that what? There was evening the first day. So I was explaining to him, basically that's where we're at.
So you're saying that evening is the first day?
Yes.
Okay. Day is day. Day is day.
So would you?
Oh, I gotta go all the way back.
I'm gonna fold my tablet down, and I'm gonna have you, Moray, to address because you do it so eloquently.
I do it eloquently?
Yes.
I guess I'm gonna do the cliff notes first. Hebraically, the day starts when the sun hits the horizon. Let me go all the way to the end and then work backwards. The sun hits the horizon. That's when the day starts. That's day. That's daytime. Okay? There's evening, which is a transition into night. When you come out of night, when the sun hits the horizon again, that's the start of another day. Okay? That's where we're going with this. Now, I know people are reading this from probably what? Bereshit chapter number 1? Where is it? That's where they started? Okay. Let's go there. 1 through 5. Says, so, okay. Wow. You pull a rabbit out of the hat here. It says 1. Let's read it together. It says 1. I am Yahweh, your El, who brought you out of the land of... Ooh, I'm reading Shemot. What am I talking about?
Yeah, you're reading Shemot.
It should... Woo, I thought I was reading something else. In the beginning, Yah created the heavens and the earth. The earth was unformed and void. Darkness was on the face of the deep, and the Spirit of Yah hovered over the face of the water. Then Yah said, let there be what?
Light.
Light. What was made first?
Light.
Light. Okay. All right. So he started with light. And there was light. Yah saw the light was good. And Yah divided the light from the darkness. How did he do that? He had to have an evening and he had to have a morning. It's a transition. He divided it. Okay? So you have a clear delineation between when darkness is and when light is. It doesn't happen just instantaneously. Right?
Right.
You have to have a transition.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, in any logically reasonable mind, we live in an environment that the Most High created, and we have day. We have the transition of the sun going down to evening, and then which evolves into darkness. We have all that. We have all that transition. We have darkness until the sun hits the horizon in the morning, where light comes in again. I mean, that's logical. It's visible, and it's been happening ever since the Most High created the heavens and the earth. Nothing changed.
Okay, so here's the thing. This is where I think people are getting off here. Is they're reading it verbatim and saying this is the actual sequence that it happened in, because they're going ahead and they're saying there was evening and then there was morning one day. That never said that's what the sequence is. It just says that's what was made. Okay? Simple. Let's go to Pesach. Where's my text on Pesach? Because Pesach starts when you start reading Pesach. Pesach starts in the evening.
Okay, that's Exodus 12.
Okay?
That's where they're
No. Pesach starts on the evening. It didn't say that's the beginning of the day. It says that's when it starts. For Pesach. Doesn't say anything about the day starts in the evening. Now, again, I know where people are reading that verbatim. Here's another thing why people attributed that to the evening is the beginning of the day. Okay? Because we're getting into a bunch of these mitzvos that we're talking about. When are you becoming clean? Say in the evening. So something happens. I have let's use this one I'm getting ready to talk about this weekend on Shabbat, where you have a seminal emission. Or you have sexual intercourse. You're unclean until evening. Okay? All right? That's when you become clean. Nowhere in text did it say that the day starts in the evening. Why in the world would the Most High say, your day begins when the sun goes down? Your day begins, you're in tune with the earth. Your day starts when you get up. When do you get up? In the morning.
When there is light.
When the light is up. You work during the day. And then there's evening, and then you rest during the night. You don't work through the night. So there's things that we need to just not read into more, that logically, reading it at first glance, you would think, okay, then if I'm following sequential order, then that's what that is. So that's how we kind of get to that.
So it says, Yahweh called the light day and darkness night.
Stop.
Wait a minute.
Stop.
Wait.
He called what day?
Yeah.
The light.
Yeah, but I'm reading his point. Therefore, you can't insert your own beliefs and say day starts at the evening and night's part of the day. I don't know what that means.
What?
So I was explaining to him that.
That's Johan?
Yeah.
That's you saying
that's
that. You. Okay, yeah.
Got you.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Light is assigned to day.
Let's understand the logic of the Most High, and let's understand that the Most High is very logical. Mm-hmm. And his creation follows logic, because the Most High is logical. Mm-hmm. He's all wisdom. He's all knowledge. He's logically solid in everything that he does. Mm-hmm. If anything that he has said falls apart, then everything falls apart. And then I'd have to ask you, why are you here?
True.
Because you would have disintegrated.
True.
But
so that would answer it that way by saying that that's talking about the components that were made on that particular day, and it's not in that sequential order how we see it.
Yeah.
Okay. Sun technically doesn't get made until later on. So there's question to be raised to say, okay, if we have transitions that are like that was made on the first day, then we get into this issue of the sun. What is the sun actually doing?
Yeah.
But okay, that's a different day.
So we have transitioned out of our first discussion
into a second one.
Into a sidebar.
It's a side quest.
A side question on side question. I mean, in terms of when is day
and night,
mm-hmm. and the elements in between those that separate the two, which is evening.
True.
And that's in text.
Yep.
I think that we've had a good discussion this evening.
Sure.
I'm going to call it at this point.
Okay.
This has been Moray Robert B. Holman Jr.
and Moray Sean Appleton.
And this has been
Hebrews in Exile. Shalom.